The USA prepared Ukraine for a war with Russia. Ukrainians are outraged by the blackout. Zelenskyy is trying to drown out discontent with patriotic slogans. Russia used a powerful vacuum bomb to strike the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. Find out about these and other examples of Kremlin propaganda in today's episode. Detector Media did all the dirty fact-checking work for you. We have separated real facts from those of a parallel universe. My name is Vadym Miskyi. In the next 10 minutes, I will tell you about the most impressive examples of Kremlin propaganda, as well as about some international media that use unverified sources of information. Here we go. NATO is forcing Russia to destroy Ukraine. This manipulative message is spread by the Kremlin's Telegram channels, supposedly referring to the statement of the NATO Secretary General. They claim that if Ukraine succeeds in joining NATO after the war, Russia will have no choice but to fight forever or destroy Ukraine as a state. This is a lie. Stoltenberg's words were twisted by Kremlin propagandists.
We know that our support for Ukraine comes at a cost. Rising food and energy bills mean tough times for many. But we pay the price in money, while the Ukrainians pay in lives. And if Putin wins, that would embolden authoritarian leaders to use force again to achieve their goals. That would make the world more dangerous and all of us more vulnerable. So NATO's task is to support Ukraine and prevent escalation of the war beyond Ukraine.
NATO countries will further strengthen political and material support to Ukraine. This is stated in a joint statement by foreign ministers of the alliance.
We will continue and further step up political and practical support to Ukraine as it continues to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity and our shared values against Russian aggression, and will maintain our support for as long as necessary.
Earlier, Volodymyr Zelenskyy signed an application from Ukraine to join NATO on an accelerated schedule. Now all member states must issue an official invitation to join the alliance. Ukraine's accelerated entry into NATO is now supported by 11 countries, in particular the Baltic states and Poland. The United States was preparing Kyiv for war with Russia. This was supposedly confirmed in Germany. This manipulation is spread by Russian propaganda media. They refer to German politician Oskar Lafontaine, known for his pro-Russian views. According to him, it is NATO that fights with Russia, not Ukraine. And the war in Ukraine is supposedly the work of the Americans. This is not true. German Chancellor stressed that NATO cannot be a party to the conflict.
Russia must not and will not win this war. It is equally obvious and clear, and we stand by that NATO itself must not become party to the conflict, for this would lead to an escalation with unforeseeable consequences for the planet. The fact that Putin's Russia is trying to shift borders through the use of force has reminded us once again of how important the transatlantic alliance is. NATO is and remains the central guarantor of our collective security.
Stop fake fact-checkers point out the anti-American attitude of Oskar Lafontaine, and they remind that it was Russia that annexed Crimea in 2014, and after the outbreak of hostilities in eastern Ukraine, it created puppet republics in the Donetsk and Luhansk region. Before the full-scale Russian invasion, the United States and other countries provided some limited defensive military assistance to Ukraine. Using such manipulations, Russia is trying to prove the legitimacy of its attack on Ukraine. In turn, the US president believes it is possible to negotiate with Putin, but only if he intends to end the war against Ukraine.
I have no immediate plans to contact Mr. Putin. Mr. Putin is, let me choose my words very carefully. I'm prepared to speak with Mr. Putin if in fact there is an interest in him deciding he's looking for a way to end the war. He hasn't done that yet. If that's the case, in consultation with my French and my NATO friends, I'll be happy to sit down with Putin to see what he has in mind.
Biden noted that Putin has miscalculated and his victory over Ukraine is unimaginable. After the destruction of all HIMARS in a quantity greater than that provided to Ukraine by Western partners, the Russians launched new impressive attacks on the armed forces of Ukraine. Russia used a powerful vacuum bomb to strike Ukrainian positions. A video with an impressive explosion is being spread on social media and through pro-Russian Telegram channels. The video is claimed to be footage of the detonation of a so-called vacuum bomb dropped by a Russian bomber. This is fake. The video has nothing to do with Ukraine. According to Stop Fake fact-checkers, it was probably filmed in Syria. Russian media have been distributing these videos online at least since December 2019. That is before Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The purpose of such disinformation attacks is obvious. This way, Kremlin propagandists are trying to intimidate Ukrainians with their alleged advantages in weapons and with their victories on the battlefields. Volodymyr Zelenskyy wants to use patriotic slogans to reduce the discontent with the blackout. Manipulative messages like this are being spread by Kremlin propagandists. They are shocked by the bravery with which the entire of Ukraine is enduring the blackout. Every Ukrainian knows the Russians are to blame for it, not the office of the president nor Zelenskyy. Western partners will continue to support Ukraine to prevent the complete destruction of critical infrastructure.
Russia's illegal war in Ukraine continues to cause death and misery every day. As winter sets in, Russia is bombing Ukraine's energy infrastructure, trying to freeze and starve Ukrainians into submission. Putin is using winter as a weapon, and we cannot allow him to win. At this critical moment, our continued support for Ukraine is more important than ever.
Almost all of Ukraine is without electricity, water and heat due to massive Russian attacks. The last one led to a several-day blackout in Ukraine. However, this only made Ukrainians angrier at their enemies after their criminal actions and statements.
Они готовятся взять наш Крым. Ну а мы делаем, единственное, что мы можем делать в этой ситуации, мы бомбим. Мы бомбим каждый день. Бомбим инфраструктуру. Видит Бог, мы этого не хотели. Люди, которые боятся какой-то Гааги. Послушайте, надо бояться проиграть, надо бояться опозориться, и надо бояться предать своих людей. Я хочу сказать, что если мы умудримся проиграть, Гаага, условная или конкретная, ждет даже дворника, который брусчатку внутри за Кремлевской стеной подметает.
These words of the Kremlin propagandists will serve as evidence during the trial. The European Commission proposed to establish a tribunal to investigate Russia's crimes in Ukraine.
Russia must pay for its horrific crimes, including for its crime of aggression against a sovereign state. And this is why, while continuing to support the International Criminal Court, we are proposing to set up a specialized court backed by the United Nations to investigate and prosecute Russia's crime of aggression. We are ready to start working with the international community to get the broadest international support possible for this specialized court. Russia must also pay financially for the devastation that it caused. The damage suffered by Ukraine is estimated at 600 billion euros. Russia and its oligarchs have to compensate Ukraine for the damage and cover the costs for rebuilding the country. And we have the means to make Russia pay.
I'm confident that soon the whole world will watch the Russian criminals being judged by the tribunal. Propagandists are already openly telling Russians that Ukrainians must be killed, otherwise the Russian organizers of this genocide will be brought to justice. And although Simonyan says that there is no need to be afraid of The Hague, there is fear in her messages. Every criminal will face the tribunal. Ukraine will win. Good luck.